When we studied Lorentz force, we studied that if a charged particle is entering in an electromagnetic field, an area which has both electric and magnetic field, then it will experience a force which is given by Lorentz force. This is equal to F equals to QE plus Q V cross B, where this part of the force was because of the electric field and this was because of the magnetic field. Now here we are going to study about the motion of charge in magnetic field. So we are going to take this part only into consideration. So let us say that charge enters a magnetic field. There is a magnetic field and charge enters it. We have charge Q and enters it with velocity V, because we know that charge will be affected by magnetic field only if it is moving because of the velocity component here. If it is not moving, if the charge is static, it is stationary, then V will become equal to 0 and the magnetic field will not apply any force on the charged particle. So it has to be moving. So if charge of Q is entering a magnetic field with velocity V, then we can have several conditions according to the angle with which the charge enters the magnetic field. So let us study each one of them one by one. So first is if theta equals to 0 degree or 180 degree, that means the magnetic field is in this direction and charge is entering either in this way, then it will be 0 degree, or if charge is entering opposite way, then it will be 180 degree. In both the cases, the Lorentz force will be given by Q and V cross B will be VB sine theta. So it will be sine 0 degree or 180 degree. Now we know that both sine 0 and 180 degree is 0. So that means the Lorentz magnetic force on the charged particle will be 0. So in this case, if the charge enters like this along the direction of magnetic field or anti-parallel to the direction of magnetic field, then there will be no force applied on it. Now the second case, if theta is 90 degree, that means if this is the, I'll make it here, if this is the direction of B and charge is entering this magnetic field in this direction such that the angle between V and B is 90 degree. So if this is the case, we'll make a diagram like this so it is easier to understand the path. This is the magnetic field and we know that dot means the magnetic field is like this. It is coming perpendicularly outward of the paper. It is coming like this. So this is the magnetic field and the charge, let us say we have a positive charge, it enters like this. The magnetic field is like this. Charge is entering this way, so angle between them is 90 degree. So this means it will experience a force. F will be equal to QVB sine 90 degree. Sine 90 degree is 1, so it will be equal to QVB. Now the direction of this force will be perpendicular to the direction of B and V by right hand rule. It is a vector product. If we apply right hand rule of vector product here, then the direction of force will be perpendicular to both B and V. So if B is like this, V is in this direction, that means the perpendicular to these both direction is this direction. So the force will be applied in this direction. This is the direction of Lorentz force. So that means if the velocity is like this and a force is applied like this, the path of the charged particle will be this. The path of the charged particle will be circular, and let us say that this is the center of this circular path and this is the radius of circular path, and the charged particle is moving like this. It will complete circles. So this means if we write it, if the charged particle is moving like in circle, then it will have some centripetal force Fc, which is given as mv square upon r, and there is a magnetic Lorentz force which is QVB, which is causing this centripetal force. So this means Fm should be equal to Fc. The magnetic Lorentz force should be equal to the centripetal force. So if we put both of them together, then QVB equals to mv square upon r, and from here we can get the value of radius of this circular path. So r will be equal to mv upon qb. So this is the radius of circular path. So if q is negative, let us say instead we took a positive charge here, if instead of positive charge, if it is a negative charge, then the direction of Fm of this direction, the direction of this force, instead of downward it will be upward, but it will again be perpendicular only. So the direction of path, instead of like this, it will go like this. So it is the same thing, only the direction of Fm will change. Now if this is the radius of the circular path, so q will move in a circular path, its motion will be periodic because the force is considered to be uniform and there is no change in velocity, so the circles will be periodically made. So it is a periodic motion, hence it must be having some time period, the time period of rotation, the time period of oscillation, and that will be given by the formula 2 pi m upon qb. You can find, or I'll write it. Now time period is the total displacement. Total displacement in a circle is 2 pi r upon the velocity. So if we put the value of r here, we will get this value. Also it will, since the particle is moving, it will have some kinetic energy. So you get kinetic energy is half mv square. If we multiply and divide this by m, then we'll get half m square v square upon m. Now mv is momentum, p equals to mv is momentum, so half p square upon m. So from here we get another relation between momentum and kinetic energy. It is used several times in numericals. So momentum p will be equal to 2m into root of 2m into kinetic energy. Frequency, if it is a time period, it will have some frequency. Now we know that frequency equals to 1 upon time period, so it is fairly easy to find. Reciprocal of this will be qb upon 2 pi m, so this will be the value of time period. So as we can see that both time period and frequency, they do not depend on the velocity of the particle. There is no term here of velocity, they do not depend upon the velocity. If we increase the velocity of the particle, if v is increased, then only the radius of the circle will get affected. If v is increased, it will make a bigger circle and radius will increase, and if v is decreased, the circle will be smaller, but there will be no change in the time period or frequency. So it is an important conclusion that we draw from here. We are going to use it in the study of cyclotron, that if velocity is increased, if it is an accelerated particle, instead of moving with constant velocity we have some acceleration, then only the radius of the path will increase. That means the charged particle will move bigger circles, but the time taken by the charged particle to make bigger circles will be same. This will not change, the time period will not change. Now another case left, that if instead of theta equals to 90 or 0 degree, if theta is somewhere between like this, if it is somewhere between 0 degree and 90 degree. So let us say that if this is the direction of magnetic field and charged particle q enters the magnetic field in this direction, it is neither 90 nor 0, somewhere in between, this is the velocity, then we can divide this into two rectangular components. Say it is entering the magnetic field at an angle theta, then this we will have v cos theta and this will be v sin theta. Now these components, v cos theta is along the magnetic field, so the force because of v cos theta will be 0, and v sin theta, which is perpendicular, and as we have already studied, the force because of this will be q v sin theta b. Force due to q v cos theta into b, this will be here cos theta, the angle between v cos theta and b is 0 degrees, so this will be equal to 0. So the only force that is applied on this particle will be the perpendicular force, and because of this perpendicular force and the velocity here, the direction of path of this charged particle will be like this. it will keep on moving like this. This is called a helical path. So this is the particle, it will go like this, like a spring. So charged particle will make circles like this and it will keep on moving in this direction. So this is the path, it is called helical path. It is same as spring. Now there will be some radius of helical path. Now it will be mv sine theta upon qb. We already studied the radius of path is mv upon qb. So instead of v here, in this case it is v sine theta. So now the radius of path is mv sine theta upon qb. Similarly, the time period will be given by 2 pi r upon velocity. Instead of velocity we will have v sine theta. So 2 pi upon v sine theta, and for r we kept mv sine theta upon qb, and v sine theta will get cancelled and 2 pi upon qb will be the time period. So again you can see there is no velocity component here. So again the time period will not be affected by the velocity, whether the velocity in this direction or this direction, it will not be affected. So this is an important result here. We are going to use this result in our next topic of cyclotron.